the Garmanch over there, Kentucky Teko Chu the second, you know, paying homage to the Ochenehene over there. It's whenever I see culture like this, it's a grand celebration, it's in grand style, it's just beautiful to see us in all our elements. And someone who came with in all his elements also is Ochenehene. That's Okuapehene, with Osadia Yokwesi Kufu III, who also arrived in all his elements. Osadia Kwesi Kufu III, you know, and all its elements over there. And we are still sharing highlights of the 25th anniversary of the Ochenehene. And of course, the president of the land was there himself to also celebrate with the Ochenehene. Here is his arrival.
Sabi Niura, Osanju for boys who are very fish and the Lulu. Ghana PSC Nabano. Lana Abidanko Kufuadu Nabano. Achikana and Naibitino. Naruno Yakupana the soul every few months. I'm on the soul of the Minister for Chieftaincy Affairs, Honorable Stephen Asababati, A.K. Asabi, Honorable Stephen Asababati, son of Yopa, Sabri, Kalama, Pelina, Nanaka, Kufuado, Osano Muchari, anyone
Yes, so the former finance minister and the current finance minister were also spotted at the event, the Grand Durbar, celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Ochenehene. And you know, there's this worrying trend of late where a lot of people share flyers announcing people's demise when actually it isn't true. So rumors about anything about him have been greatly exaggerated. So this is like a proof of life, so you just know that he's still here with us. It's like those people doing that, once you are traced and the police get you, it's between you and them and the Lord. So please. And so it was a beautiful event to see. That's the former finance minister in your pictures about there, Ken Ofori-Atta. Yeah. And still on the 25th anniversary, the Silver Jubilee, you know, we can't do a Grand Durbar without rounding it off with a concert Ghanaian style. So yes, there are some performances that happened during the evening where a lot of performances came through, a lot of artists. Amarado was there when Deshay was around. I'm not going to speak much about it, but enjoy these highlights. So those were some highlights culminating the 25th anniversary celebrating Ochine's reign. Kudos and congratulations to all the people from the Achimabwakwa state. Now we move on to another event that happened over the weekend. That's the Tidal Rave experience. And the theme for this year was Catch the Sun. Fortunately or unfortunately, when the time the event was supposed to start, it was raining, so it delayed a bit. But still, patrons were there to celebrate, and indeed they did. And now we're bringing you highlights of the festival, and the first on our list is Adam.
What kind of legacy you leaving for them? Selling and destroying generational wealth, and the people are suffering. Tidal rebellion.
Just plants, could not afford dialysis, 400 cities a week. What do you mean? Do you know how much taxes they charge us every day?
Shit! First you wanna buy my something. So you forever take that's on my take. Take my break down the city. He got better life for Mondays a day. Let's walk in the 2 for 7. He's got a better life for us to know that. My men never got nobody to go to. One point from the gun, I wouldn't get able to eat, but I was thinking of myself in the O2. I never give up on the dream, but I will cost you. Even the people would never caught you. Tell us switching up for me, and I was using the gap to say that was if I get anybody that cost you. I'm glad I'm running heavy. You can't get it going to a penny.
gentlemen, the only landlord, the one and only, the best rapper in Africa, the most excited rapper in Africa. Are you ready? Show me some lights. Give me some lights. I present to you the rap god, the fastest rapper in Africa. And he goes by the name S-A-R-K-O-B-R-E. Star
Wow, that was beautiful, wasn't it? Stone Boy, Black Sheriff, Sarko there, Kwesi Arthur in town, you know. It's nice to see him back. EL also. Man, Tidal Rave, Charlie. Those are some of the highlights from the program. Enjoy most of it on social media. But for now, that's my time. Move now to Studio 5 for sports.
GTV, and this is Studio 5. Let us start off with the 5 sport updates. We're starting off with Ghana's arrival in Libya for the crucial second leg. And so the Black Stars of Ghana have arrived in Benin, Libya for the Total Energies African Cup of Nations match day 4 qualifier against Sudan. The team left Accra at 10 a.m. and arrived at the Benin International Airport at 6:30 p.m. local time on Sunday. This match is crucial for Ghana as they aim to secure a win after a winless draw at the Accra Sports Stadium on Thursday. The team will hold a mandatory pre-match training session at the Matters of February Stadium on Monday ahead of match day 4 clash for 1:30 p.m. on schedule on Tuesday, October 15, 2024. A win against Sudan will significantly enhance Ghana's chances of qualifying for the African Cup of Nations tournament in Morocco next year. Ghana are third in Group F with 2 points, 2 points behind second place Sudan, and 7 points added from leaders Angola, who are on 9 points. And we're wishing the Black Stars all the best. So let us move on now to Accra Hearts of Oak, who have their second win of the season. Exciting times for Hearts fans, and Hearts of Oak edged Young Apostles 2-1 at the Wenches Sports Stadium, marking their return to winning ways. Emmanuel Amankwa gave the Phobians the lead in the 48th minute, but Samuel Prempeh equalized for the host in the 84th minute. However, Hamza Issa's match-winning strike in the 86th minute ensured Hearts secured their first win away of that season, and highlights on your screen. So the Phobians, that was your second win of the season. Meanwhile, manager says fans should not get too excited at this point because it's the beginning of greater things to happen. Of course, they're excited. So let's have a look at the results of match day 6, and this is in Accra. Lions drew against Berekum Chelsea at home 1-apiece on Sunday. Hatter Lions versus Vision FC, it ended in a goalless drawn game. Young Apostles losing at home to Accra Hearts of Oak 2-1. Aduana Stars winning at home against Dreams FC 2-0. Nations FC punting out a 1-1 drawn game against Bibiani Gold Stars. Masake Holy Stars won against Karela at home by a lone goal. Bicham United also winning their game at home against Mediamar FC by 2-0. And then Summertex versus Nswachema got postponed due to rain, and today at 10:30 a.m. this morning, the remainder of the game will be played. Portions of the game were played yesterday until that heavy downpour. And so now let's have a look at the standings as it stands. And Bibiani Gold Stars are 12 points, first position. Asante Kotoko, who have a game to spare because of their game against DC United, are on 11 points in second position. Mediamar C, 6 games played, 11 points in third position. Berekum Chelsea, fourth, 10 points, Nations FC, 10 points, fifth position. Visions FC have also got 9 points on sixth position. Hearts Alliance, 7th position, 9 points. Accra Hearts of Oak, well, they are climbing up the stairs, aren't they? They are on 8th position and on 8 points. And then Bicham United, they have also played 6 games on 9th position. That will make the first half of the table in Swachaman. Also, they have 5 points, haven't played 6 games. They are on 10th position. Now, that is the beginning of the second half. Summertex 11th position, Basake Holy Stars 12. Aduana Stars have 5 points, 13th position. Kerala United 4 points on 14th position. Accra Lions 4 points in 15th position. Young Apostles are in the drop with Dreams FC and Legon Cities respectively 16th, 17th, and 18th. Legon Cities, they have just a point after 5 games. All right, and so let us go on to take a lesson actually to manager of Kumasi Asante Kotoko after Kumasi Asante Kotoko's game versus DC United. This is Coach Prosper Natiomu.
Yeah, it was very competitive. It was a game of 2 different styles. Very athletic side, they want to play the balls behind the defense and try to use the spaces behind the defense and then bring in the crosses. But then we also try to also slow the game down because we realized the athleticism was so much to their advantage. So whilst they were trying to speed up the game, we tried to also control and manage the game and then try and play around them in the middle of the pass. And try to go to the side, bring it across and then score. So if you look at the 2 goals we scored, that was basically the style. We try to keep control of the ball in the middle of the park, tease them in, look for the space on the side and bring the cross in for the connection.
How important was this victory for Ghana?
Very important because playing against a side like DC United, I mean, very big team with a lot of glamour on the team. So it's good for us and it's good for the future of the 2 teams.
Can you tell us what you saw today and then what you've been witnessing back in Ghana as far as the 2 countries are concerned, soccer and football?
I think what I saw is that they are well arranged. You can see the arrangements on the field in terms of how they position themselves, how they reposition themselves defensively and offensively. I mean, when there's a transition, you don't see them segregated. They still look like a block. And with tactically, it's a good thing about the team. So I think that's one good thing I'll take from them. They don't lose their shape when they are on a transition. They still keep to their shape.
Okay, any message to Ghanaians who are watching us right here?
We thank them for their support and we want to say that, I mean, we are happy for the support they give to us. We rally on.
Thank you very much.
All right, and so that was Coach Natiomu, and there's more Kumasi Asante Kotoko players who got missing actually in United States here on Studio 5 later after we are done with GTV. So now let's start off with Hazakas ladies winning the 2024 Champions League trophy. Champion of Champions actually trophy. So the Women's Champion of Champions, which serves as a curtain raiser for the 2024-2025 women's football season, had 2 champions attempt to clinch the ultimate by adding another trophy to their collection ahead of the new season. Hazakas emerged winners at the Malta Guinness Women's Premier League, whilst Army ladies clinched their first ever FA Cup trophy. The 2 sides wasted no time in making their intentions known. They created lots of scoring opportunities, but it was Hazakas ladies that got to the opener on the 39th minute through Comfort Owusu. They held on to the end of the first half on a high. Back from the break, the Dew ladies doubled their lead. Mercy Atobra scored on the 74th minute to put the icing on the cake for second D Hazakas. In the past 2 seasons, the Women's Premier League winners and the Women's FA Cup have produced double winners, thereby going on to the Champion of Champions match that took place. Thus, have been a treble winner for the last season, the last 2 seasons, with the win. Second D Hazakas are poised to start a new season on a morale boosting note. Congratulations to the ladies. And now let's move on to Kenyans who have set a world record now. And Chiptinek is the first woman to run a marathon in under 2 hours and 10 minutes. Safa set the previous record in a victory at the 2023 Berlin Marathon in 2 hours, 11 minutes and 53 seconds. The victory for her is a third in the Chicago Marathon, where she missed out on breaking compatriot Bridget Kossy's then record by 14 seconds in 2022. 4 of the 5 fastest women marathon times have been run in the flat Chicago course over the last 6 years. In the men's race, Kenya's John Corey ran a personal best time to claim victory before paying tribute to the world record holder Kevin Kiptum, last year's winner. Corey emerged from a group of 7 leaders to run clear and finish in 2 hours and 2 minutes and 44 seconds. All right, so congratulations to the Kenyans. Let's move on now. Pochettino reacts to the first win as USA head coach with victory over Panama that was 2-0.
We're here. Have your coffee and your tea ready, right? Because coffee and tea are here. But headlines.
Let's see what the front pages of the papers are telling us. Are the big stories of the day. The Ghanaian Times: 8 killed, others injured in 2 separate gruesome road crashes. And we're seeing photograph of a member of the fire service trying to...
Crazy. That was just crazy. That's a Ghanaian Times. Daily Graphic: Kwewu resigns as ADB board chair over bribery and unethical conduct allegations.
Okay.
Wow. So that's the big one there, from fire to somebody leaving his job under fire, I guess. Yeah.
So, next paper, the Chronicle newspaper: a vote for Alan is a victory vote. Boniface quoted saying...
Okay. All right, and I'll quote for the day, Deuteronomy 24, "For the Lord your God is he who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies, to give you the victory." If God is on your side,
who can be against?
Who can be against you? Who? So that's your Chronicle there.
Okay, so. The Guardian Observer. Okay, Finance Minister pictured with the story: Moody's gives Ghana positive outlook.
Some good news on that side. So finance issues, money issues, economic issues, Moody rating. Okay, the National Voice on the same trend. Moody's upgrades Ghana's rating, signals positive outlook. A smiling finance minister who met his predecessor at
the 25th anniversary of the Ochin.
Indeed.
The past and the present.
Indeed.
The Daily Dispatch: I would like President Bawumia and Mahama to reflect on their meetings with the Pope Cardinal. Texan at that meeting at Kempinski last week made those comments. I sat in that meeting, actually.
Okay.
Very, very key things that Cardinal Peter Texan talked about. All for peace and unity in the country.
Good one there. Okay, so that's your daily guide on the Moody's mood. Moody's mood. Moody's upgrades Ghana's rating to positive. Yeah, so big news right there. And
still Moody's on the front page of the Daily Analyst, and it's Ghana's upgrade by that rating agency. And of course, there's political stories also on there as well. The New Finder newspaper:
Ghana's economic outlook positive, declares Moody's in latest rating. We need to go into this whole Moody thing.
Yes.
All right,
it's a Moody mood.
It's a Moody mood. We'll be having a conversation with that one of our professors who talks to us a lot on financial issues. Yeah. Okay, so that's your New Finder. Those are the headlines.
Yep.
Okay. We have the running mate of the Conventional People's Party. He's going to be here with us in the next hour to talk about how he's supporting his flag bearer's vision to grab power.
And the CPP's vision, really, because Ghana's only CPP president has been Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Indeed.
So will this be the time when we have another CPP president in the House?
I saw something in their highlights of the manifesto. They said PNDC equals NDC equals NPP equals the value is the same.
Hey.
So I'm sure Maltiti will be asking questions over there. So I'll see you later.
Hasta la vista.
Yes, indeed. Headlines. Galamsey now is what we are all rallying behind. Our WhatsApp number is 055 556 1034. That's our number to get through to us, to express your views and tell us what's on your mind this morning. So I have with me gentlemen who are greeting themselves in the background, but it's okay. They are making themselves welcome, and they are welcome to the show. I do have with me a member of the National Communications Team of the NDC, Chris Duga.
Duga Bilami.
How are you, Chris?
I'm fine.
Oh, good. And then sitting next to him is the communication team member for the NPP, who is George Money. Gentlemen, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. How are your flag bearers doing? Where's your flag bearer today?
Oh,
Chris?
his President Mama is doing good.
Where is he?
He's going around, and this week he will be doing the Volta, the OT, and our parliamentary candidates are also doing well. They are launching their campaigns. Yesterday was that of Honorable Alassane Suhuyini, Tamale North MP, who did his campaign launch, and Tamale 10, the Northern Region 10, people saw that victory is indeed coming. So NDC is resolute. We are ready. We are forming next government. Ghanaians are also ready to welcome NDC, New Hope.
What's the main message? Well, I mean, your flag bearer is in OT and Volta this week.
Yeah.
What is the key
President
message?
Mama we've said it clear over and over that, look, this country needs a reset. We are coming to reset our country with pragmatic policies. We are resetting the country, making sure that rule of law operates, no matter political colors. The illegalities that we are experiencing, we are witnessing today, is going to be a thing of the past. No NDC executive, be it regional, national, or constituency, will find yourself perpetrating illegalities, especially the Galamsey, activities.
So it's a reset agenda.
That's reset agenda. Okay. Government officials will be disciplined. You will not see government officials involving themselves in buying state assets.
Okay, Chris, I think I have the meat. I have the meat of what you're saying.
From corruption to corruption-free.
Okay, so it's a reset agenda. Briefly to you, George, where is your candidate this week?
My candidate is in Bono East.
Okay.
Today he'll be touring Sene West and then Tibubu and those areas. The president will also be touring Northeast and Savannah today.
Okay.
And then also tomorrow, on Wednesday, our General Secretary will also be touring Western North Region. As I speak, we have a lot of arrowheads. We have the president, we have flag bearer, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. We have the running mate also doing his tour.
Where is he? Where's running mate?
The running mate was in Accra yesterday, but today I'm told he's going to be in Kumasi. And then also we have Hajia Samira also doing her bit. And then also we have the General Secretary, Justin Frimpong. We are also meeting party folks. So we've divided ourselves along that line, and then we are campaigning rigorously. And
what's the message? What's the key message?
The message is simple. Ghana needs to transform. And then if you want to transform it, then you have to partake in this fourth industrial revolution. You will need a mindset of possibilities. You will need somebody who prefers solutions and does not lament. Somebody who has a clear message, and somebody whose track record shows that he is indeed a man of integrity, a man whose name have never popped up anywhere, a man who have never ridiculed the name of Ghana anywhere in any international newspaper, as we've seen government official one and so forth. So our message is very clear. If you want to participate in the fourth industrial revolution, let's have a mindset of possibilities. Let's have somebody who is championing our digital agenda to spearhead the development of this nation. And we believe that it's only systems that can enable us leapfrog and then also be at par with advanced countries or advanced brothers. So we are saying that they should just look out for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. If you look at the MPP manifesto, he's outlined all his policies in there. And then also, if you look at all his track record as he became the vice president, as the most vibrant vice president, he says that he's passed the test, and it's about time you promote him to the seat of the presidency. So that is what we are looking at.
Okay, so thank you for basically telling us what your candidates are doing and what the message is. Reset agenda for the NDC, transformation agenda for the MPP. Give us your messages on 055-556-1034. Let me start with a story that seems to be all over, and it has to do with Moody's. So Moody's is a rating agency, and in a couple of headlines I see today, Moody's seems to be trending. So global credit ratings agency Moody's last Friday upgraded Ghana's long-term local and foreign currency issuer ratings to CAA2 from CAA3 and CA respectively. It cited extensive debt treatment that has significantly alleviated the government's financial burdens. The agency also revised Ghana's outlook to positive from stable. Moody's justified its decision by noting the extensive treatment of the country's financial situation, particularly following the restructuring of its debt obligations. This restructuring includes a moratorium on debt servicing, agreed upon with creditors, which has been vital in easing pressure on public finances, basically meaning that repayments will be halted for a while to take the pressure off the government's finances. According to Moody's, the positive outlook reflects the potential for reduced liquidity risk. We'll break all these things down, yeah? Due to budget consolidation measures implemented under a program supported by the International Monetary Fund. The positive outlook reflects the potential for liquidity risk to ease amid ongoing fiscal consolidation efforts supported by an IMF program, Moody's said in a statement. So Moody's are believing that, in this context, Moody's decision may encourage investors to regain confidence in the Ghanaian economy, paving the way for stronger growth prospects in the future. Let me see whether I do have on the line. We're looking for, we're making contacts with somebody who can break down all these things. But let me read it and then we'll have it broken down. So Ghana appears to be on the right track to overcome economic challenges, but vigilance is essential in light of the political and economic instability that could still impact the country. Moody's also expects Ghana's debt to GDP ratio to continue to decline, projecting it will reach 81% by the end of the year, down from 93% in 2022. This reduction is crucial for resolving investor confidence, for restoring investor confidence and stabilizing the Ghanaian economy. So last week, I'll give you some context. Last week, the IMF, International Monetary Fund staff and officials in Ghana reached an agreement on their third review of the country's $3 billion loan program. In October, more than 90% of Ghana's bondholders approved a $13 billion debt overhaul, paving the way for the gold and cocoa producer, which is Ghana, to emerge from its near $30 billion debt default in 2022. Ghana's debt restructuring is expected to reduce its debt stock by $4.7 billion and provide cash flow relief worth a total of $4.4 billion during the period of the IMF program, which expires in 2026, according to the government in June. The country statistics agency, which is the Ghana Statistical Service, said in September that Ghana's economy grew by 6.9% in the second quarter of 2024, the fastest in 5 years. The cedi has faced significant depreciation, losing nearly 25% of its value against the dollar this year. Moody also said it expects the country's debt to keep decreasing, though at a slow pace, as the government resumes paying interest and principal on all its debts. We can now speak with the Dean for the School of Business at the University of Cape Coast, Professor John Gachi. Welcome to #GTV Breakfast. What does it mean for Ghana when Moody's makes pronouncements on our ratings? First of all, who are Moody's in the first place, and why are these ratings important?
Moody's is one of the international rating agencies across the world. In fact, we have more than 150 rating agencies around the world, but we have Moody's, S&P, and Fitch, who have become so prominent that we think that they are the only rating agencies. Normally what they do is to assess a country's debt situation as against its ability to repay the principal and interest when they fall due. So the indication is actually to the investor or to the creditor to weigh and see whether if I give money to Ghana, Ghana has the ability to pay. And if I already give money to Ghana, whether Ghana will be able to pay, so that I will assess whether I am risky or not risky. And the nature of risk will determine the premium that you will charge in terms of your coupon that you accept. So that is basically what rating agencies do, and that is the work that Moody's does.
How do they go about rating our economy?
Well, they have a methodology that they use, and that methodology has something to do with the revenue mobilization profile of the country. It has something to do with the growth prospects of the country. It has something to do with the expenditure pattern. Because remember, at the end of the day, all that we are looking out for in rating is whether the borrower is able to pay at the end of the day. So anything that will affect the ability of the country in repayment, all those things are factored into the repayment.
Right.
Exchange rate is also another prominent factor that will affect, especially from our point of from our side of the world.
Okay.
In fact, sometimes policies, laws can also determine whether a credit rating agency will rate you favorably or not. Let me draw your attention to 2010, 2011. You know, S&P downgraded Ghana just because at that time we didn't have Petroleum Revenue Management Act to with the new Petroleum Act in terms of how to mobilize the revenue, how to disburse the revenue. So because we were not running very fast, that actually went against us because it has indication for revenue for the country. And for that matter, we were downgraded at that time.
Okay.
So all these things are taken into consideration in the rating. Anything that at the end of the day will influence your ability to pay will be considered.
Now the latest rating is CAA2 from CAA3 and CA respectively. What does that mean? When we are CAA2, what does that mean?
Yeah, we are still at the junk state. So what has been done is to take recognition of the fact that we were a default state yesterday, but today we are no more a default state, having concluded on both the domestic and external debt exchange. So we have now had a new bond that is running with its new coupon and maturity. And then there is a promise of outstanding payment, which will be taking place either at the end of this month or early next month, to the tune of around 500 million. So we are no more a default state. We have come out of a default state. So this rating we are discussing is only in recognition of the fact that we have reversed our status
and then we are come back to payment. So now, any rating that will come after this will take account of all the things that I was discussing earlier on.
Okay. So now they say we are now positive. We used to be stable. What's the difference?
Yes.
Talking about the outlook. When they say outlook, what are they talking about?
No, the outlook is what we expect to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the actual rating. The actual rating is what will come in investment grade, less than investment grade, junk status, and the rest. So the outlook is what, if I want to say, the picture that we portray ourselves to be as a result of our economic circumstances.
Is it like prospects, what you are expecting in the future?
You can say that.
Okay. Now, they also say that...
So I'm saying that is on the account of the reversal from a default state to a country which has now taken responsibility to pay its debt.
Okay. Meanwhile, we also know that the restructuring that they are praising us for includes a moratorium on debt servicing. Break it down for the ordinary man in the street. When they say there's a moratorium on debt servicing, what does it mean in simple English?
Moratorium is only a time given after which you will resume the payment.
It's like a grace period. You don't pay for a while. Is that correct?
Exactly. Even though it's part of your debt you'll be paying. But they look at your circumstances and say, look, if we ask you to pay at this time, there'll be too much burden on you. So why can't we give you 6 months?
Okay.
After 6 months, then you can start paying. So it's actually a recognition of the fact that we are in a challenge. So they don't want to heap all the problem or all the challenges on us. But normally, moratorium is associated with development financing.
Which is what?
So if you go to World Bank, which is focusing on development financing, and even if you go to IMF, where the loan is actually for development. So you look at COVID-19, we are solving a problem. So the IMF gives us $1 billion for five years moratorium before we start repaying, because IMF wanted us to resolve the problem, come onto the right footing, then we can resume the repayment. If they wanted to start the repayment after a year, we may not have resolved the problem.
Right.
So it will be a challenge on us. So that's the essence of moratorium.
Okay. Finally, does this mean that Ghana is doing something right and we should be excited about what Moody is saying with respect to our ratings?
I think the rating is, first of all, an independent opinion to creditors. So all that this thing means is that creditors are now happy because Ghana is not saying we can't pay. Ghana is saying I can pay. Let us restructure the debt. So the debt becomes new debt. And then the conditions become new conditions that Ghana is now ready to, meet those new conditions. So as a creditor, you are happy that after all, your money is not lost.
Right. Okay.
So that's all that is happening.
Professor Gachi, thank you very much for the education. He's the Dean of the School of Business, University of Cape Coast. And we now know what the meaning of this Moody's upgrade of Ghana's ratings is. Brief comment from Chris. Yeah, you've heard from the good prof. You must be excited. We're doing better.
What is better here? I'm not an economist, and I don't pretend to be one.
That's why we brought the economist.
Yes.
Yes.
So
what do you think from his explanation?
I'm going to explain per what I've heard and my understanding. It is clear that we are not in good standing. We are not in good standing. You look at the cedi depreciation. Where are we today? And most importantly, if you heard him, he said, look, we are still in a junk state. It would have been good news if we had moved from the state that we found ourselves today to another level.
But moving from default to junk, is that not an improvement?
It is junk. Junk means what? And I'm surprised that we are at where we are today, when people were told they have what it is, they have the key. They have all the ability to manage this economy.
So for you, it's much
we
about
are not
nothing.
even servicing our debt. It's problem. Borrowing. You borrow and you don't service your debt.
It will be
I
like
was
this.
surprised even this government is borrowing. Were we not here when this Alaji told us that if you are standing in a bucket and trying to borrowing too much or taxing people to build a nation, to govern, it's like standing in a bucket and trying to lift it. And we are moving from taxation into production.
Who said that?
What happened to Dr. Baumia?
You stand in the bucket and try to lift
He
it.
said taxing people is like standing in a bucket and trying to lift it. That is Alaji.
It's a great image.
Yes. So you can see the kind of person he is today. He's an economist. That is what we're told, myself and you. Economic wisdom. When they came, what was the state of Ghana economy?
What are your solutions?
Were we in a junk state?
What are your solutions?
Look, the solutions are simple. President Mama is saying that when we take over, we make sure, first thing, the debt, the money that they borrowed that they are not servicing, that investors have no confidence in this country because the economy is in junk state. We will make sure that we begin to service the debt. And two, the unnecessary taxes, the draconian taxes.
If you should gain power, you will be still part of this IMF program, which ends in 2026.
I know. Why not? They came. NDC never ran away from being part of IMF or going to IMF. They came with their lies, their arrogance. That going to IMF means you don't know what you are doing. You don't have the ideas to manage your economy. That's why you are going to IMF. Why are they there?
Good question.
Why are you in IMF? You borrow money for Kenke party.
No, I didn't do it. Let me ask.
I'm asking, why are we in IMF?
Let me ask you the question, Chris.
This government is a disaster. That they have no business to be in office, even 2 weeks after 7th December.
Thank you, Chris.
This is a disaster.
Thank you, Chris. Can I ask my question to George now? George, what you've heard about the Moody's,
Sure.
And how do we get here?
And then let me greet my good prof and my good friend, Prof. Gachi. We used to debate a lot, and we still debate a lot. So let me extend my greetings to him. You see, when you asked him of solutions, he had none. See, prior to 2022, Ghana's ratings was not a problem. In 2022, there were some events that happened before the downgrade. If you could remember, it was around that same period that we had the supply chain disruptions around the world, which was caused by the Russian-Ukraine war. When the whole world was trying to come out of the COVID devastation, then we had a supply chain disruption. When the supply chain disruption occurred, Ghana had instituted measures to revamp or to get a lot of revenue. And if you could remember, that was the time that we proposed the e-levy. The e-levy suffered a lot of backlash, leading to international community losing confidence within our space.
Like your guys,
yes.
The finance minister told us.
Yes, it's very true.
Yeah.
But then we delayed because the e-levy was proposed in 2021 but was passed in March 2022. We delayed, and that cost us a lot. So if you check the exchange rate, dollar to CD exchange rate, in February 2022, it was $1 to 6 cedis. But by the time we ended the year, it was $1 to about 16 or 17. That was the result. That was what happened.
It's back to 16 or
right?
17.
Yeah, it's back to 16. But the equations are quite different now. The currency, we jumped up to 17, and then we were able to reduce up to 13 or 14 around 2023.
We are going back to 17, though.
We will definitely come back, because now what is happening is that with the gold purchasing program, right, we are able to now generate our own money, and then what we are trying to do is to use gold to stabilize our currency. It takes time. it will take time, but that is the lasting solution, because if you look at all the strongest currencies in the world, they are all backed by gold. They are all backed by gold. If you look at the Kuwaiti dinar, which is the strongest currency in the world, it's virtually gold. If you look at even the US dollar, it's backed by gold.
It's not just gold, though. It's also management.
I
and
understand.
the argument is that you guys have managed the economy poorly and put us in a big hole.
It is not so. That's why I said that prior to the supply chain disruptions, prior to COVID devastation, how was the state of the economy? Was this an argument?
Ghana was borrowing at a fantastic rate.
Ghana was borrowing, but we're using the money for developmental projects. But when COVID came, if you could remember, when COVID came, we cut our revenue generation. Even VRA had to revise their target 3 times. They had to revise their target 3 times before they were able to even achieve the last one. That was what happened. So it is not like nothing happened.
We defaulted by $30 billion in 2022.
It's not like it's not like we defaulted. But rather, no, the thing is,
I read it to you.
Yes,
from the Moody's report.
Sure, but if you could remember when France 24 had their interview with the president corrected. He says that it is not a default.
What was it?
We went there for renegotiation.
Ghana did not default.
We told them we will not be able to pay. We told them we will not be able to pay, and that was what brought this whole debt exchange program.
But if I take a loan from you and I cannot pay, have I not defaulted?
Of course, you could say I've defaulted. But if I give you a prior notice, if I give you prior notice that, as we all understand, because of A, B, C, D, I will not be able to pay, and then you decide to extend my time for me, it cannot be said in a certain sense that I'm defaulting, because already there have been a conversation. As I'm telling you, if those two global events have not happened, perhaps we'll never have been here discussing these things. That is why I decided to give you an example that if you check our exchange rate, even as of February 2022, it was $1 to 6 cedis.
What
February
is it now?
2022. That is why I said that events happened. Right, events happen, and this brings me back to what the president said the other time when we had COVID, that when events or calamities do happen, we would try to salvage the situation because people may die. We don't know how to revive them, but definitely we will know how to build our economy. And even before this Moody's report, if you have checked, the Ghana Statistical Service have said that we have been growing. First quarter, we grew by about 4.7%. Second quarter, we did about 6.3%. And then gradually, food inflation has always been going down. If you could remember, sometime around April, May, our friends in the NDC would have come to this studio holding yam and all that. But now they do not. Because why not? Because food inflation gradually have been coming down. So nobody is running away from the fact that there have not been challenges. Of course, there have been challenges which have been orchestrated by exogenous factors which were beyond our control, because if COVID or Ukraine were within our control, of course we would have salvaged the situation. What we have control over, and it's what we've been doing. That's why we are bringing policies, and we have been introducing policies that we seek to stabilize the currency. I, for instance, did a study on this Gold for Oil program in 2023, which is well published. If you Google Gold for Oil, a comparative study, you'll see me there. I did a full study comparing the prices internationally and then the local prices. And I realized that the Gold for Oil have had a tremendous impact, because if nothing at all, we now have 2 streams of bringing products into the country. And because of that, it has forced these ITOs to reduce their suppliers' premium from $200 now to $70. Simply because we now have 2 streams of bringing products into the country, which was orchestrated by the Gold for Oil. So nobody's running away from the fact that there haven't been challenges. Of course, there have been challenges, but what we are saying is that we are gradually addressing all the systematic problems. It is going to take time, but it doesn't mean that it's never going to happen. It will definitely happen, and that is where we are moving to.
Okay.
And that is why when you listen to my flag bearer,
you've made your point, George. Made your point quite eloquently. Thank you so much. 055-556-1034 on the messages. 055-556-1034. It's 8:11. You're watching GTV Breakfast. I'm here with George and Chris, and we're looking at the big stories. It was Moody's upgrading and Ghana's ratings. We spoke to Professor John Gachi not too long ago. But there's also closer to where we are right now in Kanda. There's a police manhunt for some rioters in Mamobi. So Ghana Police Service has launched a nationwide manhunt for individuals responsible for some confusion, violence between supporters of the 2 parties represented here in Nima, a suburb of Accra. In a statement released on Sunday, October 13, the police assured that calm had been restored in the area. The clash between members of the two major parties resulted in 9 individuals sustaining injuries. The Ghana Police Service has successfully restored calm in Mamobi, a suburb of Accra, following disturbances between NPP and NDC supporters that led to 9 injuries. 7 of the 9 have been treated and discharged from the hospital. 2 are still receiving treatment. An intelligence-led operation is currently ongoing to get the perpetrators who have been identified by the police to face justice. So supporters of NPP and NDC from Nima, Mamobi, and Newtown, all communities in Accra, clashed in the late hours of Sunday, October 13th. Videos of the incident, which have gone viral, show the supporters of the two parties engaging in physical altercations, exchanging punches, and the clash escalated as gunshots could be heard. One video from the incident captured people running for cover as the gunshots began. You had people, somebody who was hit on the leg by a bullet, lying on the floor. And so the police are underway. You can deal with it.
You see, the happenings yesterday was quite unfortunate. But my problem is that if we want to solve this violence in our body politics, then we need to mention names, name and shame, for everyone to know who is doing this, who is doing that. It's not because I am NDC. I'm somebody, I never endorse violence, and I won't endorse violence. Politics is about ideas.
You appear to be a peaceful man.
That's me. No, I appear. That's me.
No, that's what I see.
I'm not soft.
You're not soft then?
I'm not soft. Look, as for over 30 years that we are in this, our democratic dispensation, political parties have come to terms that when someone has a day for his program, you need to give him that day. The security will have time or attention for that political
no clash
party.
Programs.
No clash programs. Yesterday, I am happy Kanda is just here. Nima is just here. Less than a minute. Yourself and your team can go out there and do your own investigations. Yesterday was a day for NDC.
Who determined this?
Every Sunday,
okay,
they have a walk. Every Sunday.
You live there?
Why? My senior most brother office is just there, Wawa Road. So I'm mostly there.
Were you there this Sunday?
I said I am mostly there.
But
so if I wasn't there, but I have people there.
Okay, all right. So Sundays is for them?
Yes. If I spoke to the organizer, I was the organizer this morning.
Okay.
So when they were having their work, even the other team didn't know something was happening. The NDC boys were riding on motos. Then all of a sudden, some young men crossed the road in NPP t-shirts and asked them to stop. And they said they won't stop. So it turned to argument. And one of the NPP guys pulled a gun and shot one of the riders' leg. So it became an exchange. As I speak to you, you can follow up to the hospital. Those about 7 people were injured. Are they NDC or MPP? All the 7 people who were injured yesterday are NDC boys.
So people need to respect the times that the action happens. Okay.
But you see, mind you, if this is the way that the MPP want us to go, look, they did this in Iowa West Wagon.
Don't issue any threats.
They ambushed people.
Don't issue any threats.
I am not issuing threat.
Yeah, because
I'm saying that
I thought you appear to be a peaceful man.
ambushed.
Yeah, I know.
We know, myself, everybody knows what happened.
Yeah.
I was West Wagon.
Yeah.
People are paralyzed today.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened yesterday at Iowa.
Chris, don't open wounds.
If the state cannot protect people, if I feel I cannot be protected, or if I feel people walk on me just like that, rest assured, 7th December will not be same. People, NDC will get ourselves protected. Look, we slept on our right, 2020, and people did whatever they want and walked scot-free. You heard what happened in Techiman.
Chris, I told you appear to be a calm and peaceful person.
I am very calm. That's why I am calm. But the right thing must be done.
All right.
Rule of law means law must operate. The police issued a statement saying that they've identified some people. If you have identified somebody, you should know the fellow party colors. I don't have a problem.
So they are doing an intelligence-led thing.
That's what I'm saying. I don't have a problem. Those identify.
All right.
If they are NDC supporters, that they've identified, they should let us know.
All right,
let's
Chris.
name and shame.
All right. Let's. I'll come to George in a short while. Let me speak with security analyst Emmanuel Kutin. Good morning, Chief.
Thank you for having me, and good morning to your very cherished listeners.
Good morning. Welcome to #GTV Breakfast. So we're calling you on the back of this altercation between members of these two major political parties. And Chris has given me some background as to how they're supposed to be arranging these walks and these days for you, so don't cross. Is that the way to go? How do we diffuse the tension?
Well, Kafi, I think that justify as the NGC spokesperson I just heard is, I don't think that is the way to go. I can understand. It's just a few weeks to elections and the whole environment is charged. Any peace-loving person should be looking at de-escalating the situation. But let's situate it, the situation in Mammobi in proper context so that we can learn. And next time we don't repeat same mistakes. I think the blame is squarely on the police. And it's the way the police has managed over the period. The police has become over-politicized. And they normally lean to the sitting government. And I think that is very unfortunate. If you look at the Security Act, if the police indeed knows the powers that have been conferred on it by the Constitution, they wouldn't go the target, they go always trying to please the political masters and stuff like that. Now, if you look at the Mammobi situation, how come it is the Director General of Operations from the police headquarters who had to come to intervene in the matter when we have the regional police force? So there is a problem there. We need to decentralize our police administration system. The current system doesn't help. Where one man must give authority before any other thing works. Going to elections, I think that we have to start drawing lessons from some. Never prosecuted anybody under the Political Vigilance Act. And if you look at the impunity, all the political parties across board, the way they have armed their youth group is so alarming. Yes, nobody is going to talk about it. This is just a dress rehearsal of what we expect in the coming days. If we don't move in quickly and nip the Mammobi case in the back, otherwise, we have a lot of problems ahead of us.
Briefly, Emmanuel, what are your top recommendations to diffuse tension?
My top recommendations, unfortunately, is too late to implement. Now, we don't have to call for armed amnesty, where we have to get arms from the hands of civilians. Innocent arms. And sometimes some of these weapons are even more powerful than what our security agencies are holding. Look at the impunity, a peace march. And some of the participants were armed. What is the motive of that? Another thing is, police, I know this one, police can do it. They should centralize the administration and give more powers to the regional commanders to act immediately.
Okay.
If we don't do that, and we centralize the administration as it is, and command have to come to the top. Before you know, casualties might have occurred, and we are only, talking to same casualties when actually we could have preemptively prevented some of these things.
Right.
And I also believe that the Peace Council should call the political parties as a matter of agency and commit them to the peace of this country. We are looking for power, Captain. What are we looking for power for? To come and take care of everybody. So if you destroy the country and you get the power, who are you going to govern?
Good question.
But before I go,
briefly,
I want to use your medium to highlight the plight of the good people of Saboba. Saboba is 80% submerged underwater. If you recall 2 months ago, we had drought, and it hit hard on the pockets of the farmers. As we speak today, 90% of farmlands in Sabuba are underwater. And I want to use this medium to appeal to government as a matter of agency to declare Sabuba a state of emergency and bring relief items to these poor families.
I thank you.
I grew up in Sabuba.
Yes, indeed.
And as a farmer son, I seriously identify with the situation in Sabuba. And we cannot play with politics, with development as usual. Sabuba is part of Ghana.
Point well.
If you come to Sabuba, it's a sad thing.
Point well made, Emmanuel Kutin. Thank you so much for that appeal for the people of Sabuba and also for your recommendations on how to bring the tension down. I'll take 2 or 3 messages from Thelma. But before that, I want to just hear from George on this whole Nima Mamubi clash and the wider issue of tension and how to diffuse it.
I think that violence in any form should not be condoned or it should not be encouraged. I therefore condemn what happened. But if you look at what really transpired, it is not as my friend was saying, because this was a peaceful walk between the 2 political parties. And then
but don't they walk on different days?
I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware of that. What I do know is that for the past 3 weeks, both of them have always been organizing peace walks.
On Sundays?
On Sundays and on Saturdays, and nothing happens. But this one was caused as a result of, I think it was just one way that the NPP wanted to use, and then the NDC also wanted to use.
Was there police around when the walks were happening? No police.
That would have been my second point. So the altercation came because the NPP people there felt that these people were coming with a motorbike and they were ahead, so they should rather pass before they come. It started as a mere altercation.
Were you there?
I have friends there. And then they send when the incident was happening, they were just sending the videos to some of our platforms. I have a friend who was even standing at the top, I don't know where, one of the story buildings, and then was hearing everything ongoing. So that was what really transpired. And then even when you check Daily Guide online, that it was the same person that they interviewed as an eyewitness, and then he put solutions. So the thing is that we should all see ourselves as one. I always say that there is no need for us to fight because of politics. My granddad, for instance, Nana Jan Ketechi, he's a PNDC person. I'm an MPP person. I have cousins within the NDC who are even holding regional positions within the NDC. We meet, we drink, we move on.
So let's see ourselves as one.
Let's see ourselves as one. So I think that the whole thing is not is individual. We ourselves will have to start seeing ourselves as one.
Okay.
And that we should see politics as just a vehicle to develop Ghana. It's just an ideological difference and nothing more.
George and Chris with their contributions. Thanks to Mr. Kutin and Prof. Gachi earlier on talking about Moody's. Thelma, we have time for 2 or 3 messages.
Okay, and I'll make it snappy. Our message board, your thoughts, not the thoughts of GBC. Good morning, Mr. Host and your panelists. We all know that Ghana is in economic crisis now. The MPP guy over there should stop all the jargons. We are sick and tired of all those empty economic promises and lies by those who consider themselves economic wizards. Thank you, Solo from Western North Region.
Okay.
Okay. TK joining the conversation. Why...
Let's tell NDC the truth.
So tell NDC the truth. We need peace in Ghana. He was making an earlier point that I don't quite get. Here's more. CAF, hope you are great. I'm surprised that the man in white is trying to defend the standing now. Where is he from? And then perhaps the last one from
Ghana.
Ras Chacha, wondering why the NPP still has lies to Ghanaians, and it's a long sentence. So it all seems to be tailored or directed at the NPP. If you'd care to give a quick response, then those would be our messages for today. CAF.
And we're going to wrap up. We have like 30 seconds, basically just...
That's a region. They've fulfilled their part of the pact. It's now time for us to also fulfill our part by voting massively for the NPP. So I would encourage all my fellow Western North people that let's unanimously come together and support Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and then also support the NPP parliamentary candidate. For they've given us something that have been the dream of our forefathers.
All right.
So let's also appreciate that and then vote for the NPP.
George Money speaks for the NPP. Chris. 30 seconds.
You see, our country needs to be rescued. Voting for a vote for MPP is a vote for impunity. And I believe in the good people of Ghana that Ghanaians are not going to reward fraud. Ghanaians will not reward corruption. Ghanaians will not reward impunity. We need this country to be reset. They have nothing to transform. What MPP have to transform is to transform corruption. It to transform impunity. It to transform recklessness, refusal of servicing debt. That is what they have. So I'm urging the good people of this country, and which I believe Ghanaians have already made up their mind on the ballot. Nothing will change.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, George. Thank you, Prof. Gachi, for the comments on the explanation on Moody's. Thank you, Mr. Kutin, for the security recommendations. And thank you all for watching this segment. Still to come, we have our Manifesto Watch, where the running mate of the CPP sits down with Maltiti to speak about himself and their manifesto and what they intend to offer Ghanaians in 54 days' time at the polls. You're watching GTV Breakfast. Stick around.
see as the build-up in both production and then the revenue is from solely the Jubilee field. In 2016, the second field was added, the Cheneboa, Enyera, and Tome field, shortened as 10. So the producing fields became 2. In 2017, the third field was added. But it's worth adding that the third field is not an entirely oil-producing field. It is primarily a gas-producing field that has associated oil. So that is what led to the peak production we had in 2019 of 71 million barrels. So that figure is the product of, let me say, the outcome of the work of 3 producing fields. Then you come to 2020. It's called the unique year, COVID. Yeah. It affected everything, including the number of workers who had to be on the vessel. So production went low. In fact, the world over, prices went so low that some say that price were negative. It's like the cost you would incur taking the product to producing and then taking the product to the world market to sell would even be more than the revenue you would accumulate, you would generate. So it is understandable that production will go down. So when PIAC did its report for 2020 and production went down, it was no surprise. But then 2021, it went further down, and then 2022 and 2023. So for 4 consecutive years, you have had production go down. And revenue is always a function of production and price. What you have control over is production, because that one, you can increase how much you produce. As for price, the slightest thing that happens in the geopolitics could just bring prices down from the highest to the lowest.
So what's your understanding of the why? Why have we seen that decline? Is it because after COVID, whatever resources were not put into mining the oil? Because you think that if the resource is there and we needed the money, we would mine it and get it, because we can't control the price, like you're saying, but we have the raw material, unless we don't.
Well, we need to understand that petroleum is an inexhaustible resource. So it is not there endlessly. The quantity of crude oil we had in 2009, which we started with on Jubilee Field, is not the same as we have today. Usually, the lifespan of the field is between 20, 25, at most 30 years.
So from 2009 until now,
exactly. If you take the Jubilee Field, and we have done about 13, 14 years, then it means that
the resource is dwindling.
Yes.
So is this to be expected?
Yes, that is to be expected, assuming all factors standing constant. But then along the line, especially with Jubilee, we made additional discoveries and had, I think last year, the president commissioned some new wells which were added to production. So we call that Jubilee Southeast. That increased the numbers a bit. So what you see for 2023 is a product of the addition of Jubilee Southeast. In fact, if Jubilee Southeast had not been added, it would have been a worse situation than we are currently experiencing. Okay. So the first point I would like to make here in response to your question is that petroleum is an inexhaustible resource. So when you produce over a period of time, what you produce after peaking, you would begin to see a decline.
Okay, so let me bring Mark in here. What's the technical perspective of what's happening? Because I'm getting the sense from what Isaac is saying that it does not appear that anybody is doing anything wrong. Is that what it is?
It depends on how you define anybody's not doing anything wrong. There are various factors to this, and what I just talked about is just one of them. There's some factors that you can attribute to the action and inactions of the state itself, as in the state that owns the resource, you understand. The technical factors are there. Okay, for instance, 2023, 2022, we've been experiencing technical challenges with regards to the 10 field that he mentioned earlier on. As for the Jubilee field, halfway through its life cycle, yeah, you should expect maybe a plateauing and then it starts declining. But then there are also technical mechanisms you can put in place to boost production of a declining field, which in the industry we call it enhanced oil recovery. It's technical, so let me not go there. But then with respect to the side of the state, okay, it will interest you to know that since 2018, we've not brought on board any new petroleum agreement. And to sustain any industry, whether even it is the oil industry or it is the manufacturing industry or any other industry at all, you need to add on. You don't take out. You understand? We've not added on for how many years now? Since 2018?
6 years.
Exactly, about 6 years. We did our first licensing and bids round in 2018-2019 with the intention of bringing in new investment, but it was woefully unsuccessful, woefully, due to several factors: low quality of data, smaller block sizes, as in blocks, let's say oil field sizes, but block sizes actually. Then instead of going through the default routes of competitive bidding, we ended up at a point going through direct negotiations with other companies. You understand? We have inconsistencies in our regulatory framework, and then the general economic climate is also not helpful.
So how are we seeking to solve these problems? You say that there's a workshop coming up that will create awareness about our declining fortunes on the crude side. What will that do?
So the industry actually had hope that the government will sit back and resolve this after 6 years. But that's not been happening, because we are still going out there in the market with the same information we sent in 2018-2019. So when we published our 2023 report, KNUST, the Department of Petroleum Engineering, reached out to us and said that, look, we have also been analyzing this declining trend. Why don't we collaborate? Have a national dialogue, bring the government and industry, academia on board, and see how we can arrest technical participants, so we can grill the issue, bring out tangible solutions to this problem. Then there will be a closing session where all the participants can come back again.
Right.
And then a communique will be issued, published, and then sent to the Ministry of Energy.
Gentlemen, thank you for sitting with me this morning. That's all time would allow us, but we wish you a fruitful workshop Wednesday and Thursday. Where's the venue?
Alisa Hotel.
Alisa Hotel, what time?
9 a.m. on Wednesday.
Till 5 p.m.
Yes, 5 p.m.
So PIAC is inviting all relevant stakeholders to this technical consultative workshop at Alisa Hotel on Wednesday and Thursday. They will be talking about the declining crude oil production in the country, and together with its partners, KNUST.
And we're back. It's still hashtag GTV Breakfast. Jigabra here, that GTV boy, bringing you your birthday dedications. To everyone celebrating their birthday today, the 14th of October, happy birthday to you. Oh, and this time around, I want to do some Stevie Wonder, but I've seen the faces around me, and I think I'll just keep the song to myself. I'll just hum it to myself. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Happy birthday. You know what? The proper birthday song will come after this. So at this point, I want to wish one of our own, well, he used to be here, but we still look up to him because he's one of my mentors as well, Abdul Hai Mumen, Director of Communications at University of Development Studies. And today is your birthday, wishing you the very best for today. You're one of the shining stars. You're a talk show host, current affairs, TV anchor, news anchor. Just say, Abdul, you do all. And you keep inspiring us. So today is your birthday. Happy birthday to you once again. And to you, Joanne Saki, today is your birthday as well. She is the Deputy Country Director and Business Engagement League Ghana. She's also with Riverman Productions. She also has a foundation, Last Closet Foundation.
Second most important man of the land, if the CPP, that's the Convention People's Party, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's party, Wednesday astute lawyer, and let me introduce him now to you, but I am Maltiti Saida Sadek, and you can send us your questions on 055-556-1034 to my guest. My guest is lawyer Wayo Ganamanti. Good morning.
Good morning.
Wayo, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, and good morning to your cherished viewers.
Good to have you. We've been looking forward to this conversation because also let me just let our viewers know that Ganamanti represented Ghana at the Big Brother Africa some time ago in South Africa. And so there's entertainment and creative arts in there as well, and we'll get his thoughts on that. But first off, this water we sampled from the river bodies close to 2 years now, from 2022, River Pra. And this is the latest, 2024. I'm sure you've seen the demonstrators on the streets, those in remand. You've heard of the crackdown on illegal mining. If you've been monitoring our show, we saw some of them at Konongo in plain sight on the streets, mining with impunity. What comes to mind when you see this?
Thank you very much. I think this is scary. That's the best description to give where we are heading towards. To have the water, that should be as plain as a week here. And to have this is very scary. And the health implications this poses for the nation. If we are not careful, in a decade or more, we will have a very dangerous economy in this country. The problem is that it is the next generation that faces this serious catastrophic environment that we are posing onto ourselves. But demonstrations do go to the street. The police will also be abused when they are causing the arrest. But it was incumbent on the courts. Now that they've been brought before you, you look at the issue, grant them bail, and quickly deal with the matter. So to me, as a lawyer, it's the courts that failed this country in the first scenario of the demonstration. because the court basically is supposed to come in and calm down the situation. The court came in and rather exacerbated the situation. So moving forward, the judiciary need to understand that when a nation is on such trajectory, you are to come in and calm the situation. We are justified to demonstrate, because looking at the water before you, if we allow this to go on, we are going to get to a situation we will not even have water to drink. We need to import water. Meanwhile, we are blessed with a host of water bodies.
Okay, you do know that the vice president, if you become, will be in charge of security and the Security Council, the police and all of that. It has been said that the police have been, they folded their arms and watched this menace go on instead of cracking the whip. They are the law enforcement agencies. What would you do different?
I think the resolution for this matter is not deploying the military or even accusing the police. I heard one security expert, I think the name just can't come to my mind now, but he was clear that sending the military to these places will not resolve the problem. What the CPP is going to do is that we are going to halt it. We are going to stop it. The demonstration says, stop Galamsey. Why can't we get it? The people say, stop Galamsey, so let's stop it. The people did not go into the train and say, redeploy military. Tell the courts to give us more courts to fast-track the trial of such issues. The people are saying, stop it. So CPP will listen to the voice of the people and stop it. Those who are on the Galamsey site, there are two streams. Those who can purchase the champagnes and the machines, I call them the kingpins. Then the ordinary youths, I call them hungry youths. The hungry youth is not the one causing the problem. It's the man who has the ability to buy the machines and get the hungry youth to go onto that river body or that small portion in the forest. The hungry youths, if even they are about 1 million, we are a nation of about 33 million. Lee Kuan Yew once said that he who wants to govern Singapore must govern with an iron fist. There must be some sort of strictness in this matter. The 1 million thereabout must be taken off that site. The argument that employment, 1 million people, drastically changing our economy, destroying our ecosystem, as against the life of 33, if you are 34 million, 1 million as against 33 million. If I give you the option, whose side will you be on? Common sense and wisdom says that get the 1 million off the site. You must sometimes rule the iron fist, because at the end of the day, it's not all of us who are there destroying the water. Let's get them off by stopping it. And let's create alternative and viable employment for these 1 million youths.
I'll come to you on creating alternative viable employment and even what we'll do with our mineral reserves and our natural resources. But we want to get to know you. Who is Wayo Ganamanti, and how did you usher yourself into politics?
Thank you very much. I'm a young man in this country, and at least now at 49 years thereabouts, I'm not with the old guys, I'm not with the young guys, I'm in between. So tactically, I'm much older than most of the young persons in Ghanaian political landscape today. If you take President Akufo-Addo, if you take President Mahama and the rest, all the rest you see all over the place, I'm much older than them. So tactically, I'm their senior brother. That is why if the old guys are stepping out, let's give it to another senior brother who can take this country to a place we need, and not, the minority leader and all of them older than them. I've been around and I've been doing politics. My politics in the past has been from the Emperor Haile Selassie type, where government, as a socialist government, Dr. Bawumia's father served in there. So we have all been socialists and Nkrumahs because we want a social kind of development for the people. And when we talk about socialism, it's based on utilitarianism, where the maximum good of the people. Everything we do must be for the maximum good of the people. That is why I shut down the Galamsey thing that 1 million cannot take 32 million at ransom. We must get them off the place.
Okay.
So the goodness of the people is what we all look for. So I decided to be on the side of the NDC. And after a couple of years, I realized that the NDC and the socialist tendencies and the desire to develop this country rapidly will not be gotten from the NDC. And Asari Nkrumah always say rapid development. If you look at Nkrumah's speeches, he always talk about rapid development. He doesn't just talk about development. Nkrumah was thinking of fast movement, rapid. Let's go at a faster rate. If you look at all the things he did, he moved faster.
Okay.
The NDC, with that socialist agenda, cannot. That ideology could work, and it's not working. My conscience is not right. I need to go to the mother of all the socialist movement in this country, and that's the CPP. Somebody will ask you, why didn't you go to the MPP? I can't go to the MPP because I am not a man for private sector being the engine of growth. I'm a man for the state moving forward and guiding the nation to get its rapid developmental agenda.
Okay, you tried your hands at the flag bearer, the presidential race for the CPP. How did that go?
Yes, I was in there with the same energy that the party needed a new face, needed a young person to be out there to galvanize the youth to follow. The Generation Z, they're looking for somebody who can come forth. So with that ideology, I stepped in there. And along the way, there was a need for me to just stand down and then allow the internal party mechanisms to outroll. And after the election, I mean, when there's a destiny call, it is always a destiny call. For whatever reason, God thinks that the CPP, there's a job for me to. That is why I left the NDC. The design is that destiny says there's a job at one place, CPP, go and do it. I could have gone to MPP. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Abu Jinapor, is my classmate. He took about 10 of us to His Excellency Nana Addo. After a week, Nana Addo expressly told Abu, bring Wayo, I want to see him. Because Nana believes in young people coming forward. I give that to the president. He believes young people who believe in their country. When we met him in 2012, he knew that I believe in the country. He expressly told Abu, bring your friend. But I told Abu that I'm a socialist, you're a capitalist. My conscience will not be right, and it's not because I need to move here because I want political expediency. So I've gone to CPP to work. Okay. And if there is work to be done, you need a young man who can galvanize the situation to move forward.
So for you, under the capitalist approach, you couldn't have been a social democrat to be able to do what you wanted for Ghana. And I would ask if the current CPP has the same ideals that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah had, and if it would be practical on the ground with our current democratic dispensation. But you took up the legal battle for the Rasta students when they were, having the problems getting admission into Achimota School. Why did you take up that? Are you a Rastafarian?
That's right. Yes, I'm a Rastafarian.
You are?
Yes, it's about the doctrine. It's not about keeping off dreadlocks. You understand? Like I mentioned, Emperor Haile Selassie, it is on the back of Haile Selassie that this whole Rastafarian movement and doctrine came to establish. For society and its people to resist that these chaps cannot come here tells you how far Achimota School wanted to take this matter. And that was why people like us will have to stand against society and tell them that we cannot run society this way. Allow the voiceless to have a voice.
Okay.
Allow people to come through when they deserve it. Tyrone Magai today is in
Yes, how do you feel? How do you feel about the achievements that he's chalking?
It's not only me. Ghanaians feel good. And now he's gotten a scholarship.
Right.
And I think he will proceed with a scholarship for his PhD. And he's interested in engineering.
Amazing.
If he returns with all his knowledge in science, he doesn't want to be a doctor. He could have said, I want to be a doctor. But he wants to be an engineer.
Okay.
When he returns as an engineer and even invent one thing to solve society's problem, my name will be part of his journey. And history will remember that once upon a time, somebody stood for this young engineer.
Definitely.
Oheneban Krabia is also the other one. He's also at GIS, waiting to go to MMIT. So we fight for the voiceless. The GMO case
the
is
GMO
one of
case,
yes,
and
yes,
even the
yes.
other salt miners.
The GMO case is food we all eat. I don't eat alone. You all eat. Now they want to genetically modify the cowpea we use in our wache. So very soon the wache we eat will become GMO cowpea in that wache. Terrible. Rice and a whole lot of stuff. This GMO business, genetic engineering, is for other persons' interests. Multinational company, their interests. Syngenta, Bayer, Monsanto. Monsanto now is Bayer. They are the one fronting genetic engineering in the world. It is about commerce.
Okay.
It's not about Ghana's food security. I've fought that case for 8 years. The judge gave a ruling partially and said we should now label all GMO products. However, the judge has given the passage. We are going to appeal against it. My anger with some of the issues about the NDC is that they passed the National Biosafety Act in 2011. So if there's anything at all, I will be justifiable to be angry against the NDC because they have taken Ghana to the line of GMOs. It's the NDC. Right. They passed the law.
Okay.
If somebody set aside and say MPP didn't do anything about the GMOs. It's NDC that took this country towards the line of GMO.
And this is just one of the many things you want to amend if you come into power of the Constitution and our legal framework. Let's talk about agric. Since we are talking about GMOs, over 2.5 million tons or hectares of land has been lost to Galamsey. We touched on that in the beginning. And cocoa farms, I should say. I've sat with the General Agriculture Workers Union, and they've said how this is deeply worrying for the agric space. We have talked a lot about building trust in young people, that agric is a viable venture to go into. The millions of jobless and idle youth in this country. What's CPP's approach?
The first thing is to reclaim those lands. Science tells you that the devastation is clear, it's glaring. So we will take steps to reclaim those lands. And why we'll be able to do that is the halt. If we stop it, imagine NDC and NPP say we are going to regulate. Means it's going to exist. But when we stop it, there will be no activity to continue the trajectory we are on. So now as a nation, we can have time to reclaim the land. It's very important to reclaim the land, allow the land, those areas that need to be followed, allow it to go through that natural process. And then those that need scientific engineering to be able to bring back to its viability, we do that. So talking on this reclamation, it ties in with the Galamsey stuff.
Right.
That is why we are going to stop it. And how do we stop it? We are going to stop the licensing regime.
Tell us about that.
If you don't have a small-scale mining license, you can't go into that small corner on River Densu. You can't go into that small corner in the Tua Forest. And I keep telling people that the problem is the small-scale mining licensing regime. If you want to look for a problem, a solution to a problem, look for the roots.
Okay.
If you have the problem and you're not looking for the root, how do you solve it? So regulating it is not resolving the problem. If we stop giving licenses, we wake up tomorrow, everybody understands that Ghana Manti, he's the leader of the economic management team of this country as vice president. And as a lawyer, he's saying that nobody is getting any small-scale mining license.
So what happens? You give it to only the large-scale?
So what is going to happen is that we still have to mine.
Yes.
We move them from small-scale to medium-scale. The medium-scale will look like putting people who can put their resources together in a certain category. The same people, the one I call the kingpins, they have the money. So if you are operating with $5 million, 20 million Ghana cedis, if you are about 100, when you put your resources together, your resource become enormous now. Now you can get a concession, which is bigger than the small scale. The one we can see, the one we can regulate. Then the same hungry youth, they can get employment in some of these medium scale. If you cannot operate like Newmont or, how do you call it, Anglo Gold, you can move to the next level. So the Galamsey problem, I'm saying on authority that the problem is the small-scale mining licensing regime. And we will stop that licensing regime. Nobody's going to get small-scale mining license.
Nobody's getting small-scale mining license. And I was asking on agric and the challenges fraught in that, sector, storage facilities, fertilizers and the cost of it, and even equipment, agriculture implements to be able to use them on farms. The land seems to be there, but all these challenges are deterring people from going into agric.
So CPP is coming with AgroSure. AgroSure is just to make sure that agriculture is sure for posterity. What we are simply doing is that if there's going to be any damage or any food going bad, it must get back in the hands of government and not the farmer. But because CPP is proactive, when it gets to the end of the state, it will also go bad. We are making sure that anytime a farmer is producing, we are using mechanized agriculture. It's part of the 7-year development plan in 1963, 64, 69, 70, thrown to Parliament by Osagyefo. The 7-year development plan is there. Successive governments have not touched it. We are just going to go to our blueprint and add the modernity to it. So modernizing agriculture has always been there in the 1960s. We are going to use AgroSure to make sure that we mechanize the farms, we use modern implements, we use locally made fertilizer. We import a lot of fertilizer. What is fertilizer? There's nothing engineering about fertilizer. Fertilizer is just a component of some basic raw materials. We spend all the amount of money we get that we can use in the this country to import fertilizer. We are going to use locally made fertilizer to make sure that our farmers are getting resource for their investment.
Where will you get the funding to do all of this?
This is a very beautiful question. Remember, His Excellency Nenado said that Yeuska, Yetiska, so come there. It is true, and I agree with His Excellency. The problem with this country is that we dissipate. So the difference between me and any other vice president this country can get is that I will not support over dissipation of the money. Don't forget, I'm a Rastaman. Rastamen, true Rastamen who believe in doctrines, do not come to this earth to amass wealth. We come to leave legacies. Haile Selassie happened to be a royal. That is why he was there. He only came to leave a legacy. Marcus Garvey. The Garvey is the beginning of Rastafarian doctrine because he's the one who propounded that Africa should look for a king. So when his Selassie was coronated, we accepted Garvey's philosophy. Garvey was a normal person. We dissipate the country's resources. Look at the resources we have. Gold, everything. Cook, everything. So it's not like this small, tiny country called Ghana with a few number of people, 33. We are not many.
Okay.
We get all this amount of money, raise this amount of money, and we dissipate it. The last time there was a program at the Independence Square, and I took time to count the number of V8s. The police, they have their number, the Immigration Service, whatever. You could count one government apparatus, 30 of them sitting down. So if it's Immigration Service, Immigration 1, Immigration 2, all the way, police, all the way. Why? And one of such vehicle can build a 6-unit classroom block. Okay. One of such vehicle could create pipelines to send water to our arid farms to irrigate.
And let me tie in how much Ghana loses to corruption, 2.6 trillion.
This is alarming. So I don't know the
dollars.
This you see, so Ghana will be blessed to, and I'll repeat again.
How are you dealing with corruption as a Rasta man and then as a vice president?
I've told you the first point of call is to stop the dissipation.
So if you grab any official under you who is corrupt.
As for that is a foregone conclusion. Who will deal with them?
How?
The laws are going to work. The laws are really going to work. Because you see, the OSP and the AG's office, the way they go about the work, and even the courts. If you remember, the OSP was getting angry that the courts are interfering, and then it became a slight banter between. There should be that synergy. There should be that understanding that the moment the special prosecutor brings a certain judge who is in sync, who understands the vice president's thinking, will not even spend more than 1 week. That case is dealt with, and there's sentencing.
So are you going to collapse the office of the special prosecutor, or you just support it?
No, we are going to enhance it.
Okay.
Because it is special, and we need to decouple it from the mainstream. See, we have the idea that we'll decouple the AG from the Ministry of Justice. But in the event that we need to put together resources and run together, then the special prosecutor office becomes the one who is much independent. My point is that there should be a certain judge who knows that the vice president himself is a lawyer. He's been on this journey before. He could have sat down there as a judge. As I sit here, if I want to go to judiciary, I'm a high court judge. Okay. So I understand. But we are going to have a regime where you know that, excuse my language, that vice president there, like the young guys who say, Niti Boom. When they bring somebody who has messed up, you're going to take more than one month to waste time. If less than 1 week, you have not finished that issue and put justice where it's supposed to be. If you are supposed to retrieve money, retrieve money. If you are supposed to lock the person, you take more than 2 weeks, you have fire. So we are going to make sure that corruption is tackled.
How will you deal with external pressures? You've been a leader on KNUST campus, and even when you went abroad to school at the Oxford University, you've led charges pushing the rights of black students. How will you deal with pressure from political financiers, or even your president, if her ideals do not, at the time, align with yours?
I think my leader, for once, accepts some of the things I'm bringing forth. And she understands what I said earlier, that he who has to govern Singapore must govern with an iron fist. Nana Frimpomaa is a kind of Yasantua type. She's hard. If I say hard in its loose terms, she's focused that drastic measures need to be put in place to move a nation forward, especially when we are going backwards. This Galamsey thing is taking us backwards. If you have such a society, you need leaders who understand that let's crack the whip where you're supposed to crack the whip. We are not going to have a country where you're going to have autocrats or dictators. But sometimes when it becomes clear, you're going to get it. Pressures are not going to work. Because in the first place, my thinking and orientation is that I came to this planet to leave a legacy. I didn't come to amass. I'm not amassing for my children unborn. My children, I give them education, I help them to be on their path. I will not amass anything for them. The simple reason is that you amass for them, and when you are no more, they can dissipate it. It will come back to nothing. Amass a whole lot of the state resources, give it to your descendants, give them 20 years after you are gone. They will blow everything. So with this thinking, we are coming to make sure that we are leaving a legacy for the people. And the best way to leave a legacy is to make sure that the country rapidly develops.
Okay.
Let me give you one thing my leader understands, which is on judicial reforms. For instance, we need manpower to work. we arrest people for misdemeanors. Misdemeanors are the offenses where the court will give you maybe 3 years or a fine. If you don't pay the fine, 3 years. We go and lock them up in a place where they don't even have space. It's already congested. When you look at the foreign countries, prisoners are sleeping on bunk beds. It makes sense. Some people tell me that the Chinese, I don't know how far that is true, most of the Chinese we see today all over in Africa, they have been released from their sentences. So you see a Chinese here working on your construction site. He was an inmate somewhere. But the Chinese government thinks that it doesn't make sense keeping them here. Let them go and work and bring revenue. Why are we keeping ours? So we are very much particular, and that will also decongest the prisons on the judicial reform of justice for all. Currently, we are doing justice for all, where a judge will go to the prison, look at some cases, quickly fast-track them, and get them off there. So sentencing is very important.
Right.
But the argument is that people will think that, okay, but Mr. Why, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. Those who need rehabilitation, we give them rehabilitation. My last question to Ghanaian is this. Will you be happy that your son went to the club last night and then the next morning you're not finding him? What happened? Oh, your son James, the police arrested him, he was having fun, and they found a small cannabis in his pocket. They took him to a court. A judge has given him 10 years. So your son is good.
How do you describe small and big?
It doesn't really matter. Which parent in this country?
It's not illegal?
Yes, so we can keep that. Which parent in this country, when he or she hears that, my son James, after his birthday, said he's going to sit at somewhere and take a beer with his friends. The police came to take them. Okay, unfortunately, they found cannabis in their pocket. And I learned they've sentenced him for 10 years. My son who is 35, he's going to his home. He will return at 45. Which Ghanaian in this country, which parent must tell me that he or she will start class?
And the ideal youth in Ghana, and what are the avenues that CPP is going to, bring? I saw something in your manifesto about NAPCO, National Service, and other employment schemes.
Yeah, thank you very much. So the first point of action will be for Statistical Service to give us the data, because we need to get the data on how many youth are out there and unemployed, and that will be continuous. So anytime we have that data, we know that a certain amount of people, gender in respect, has this to be dealt with. Then we can start working on it. You mentioned NAPCO. NAPCO, as a socialist government, we applaud it, and I think it's the MPP government that brought NAPCO. So we applaud them for that. We will come and then regulate it better. What is going to happen is that we can put up a scheme such as first 3 years of any tertiary student's graduation or something. If the availability of a job is not there, when NAPCO gets you, you're going to have permanent NAPCO job. So you know that right after Legon, right after Tech, right after UCC, what the data, they will know among us in our small community, how many people are unemployed. Oh, Masi. That those data they become concise. And they become the basis upon which you can now say, this area, this is their problem. Because don't forget that all do not look the same all over the place.
Okay.
A polling station area might have a peculiar issue in respect of employment for their people. Another area might have different. So when we have that data, we are able to get the people to
the current dispensation of decentralization is where we module, or you're going to collapse that. Do you want them elected? Are you appointing them? How's this decentralization scheme you're talking about?
That is what we have broken down.
Okay.
So we are
now further breaking down
we are saying
assemblies.
That let nobody sit down there and become a DCMC. You understand? Because it will still trickle from centralized nature, from a certain central government to you. Okay. We are saying that your police station, so government at your police station.
And I still ask, how will it be funded? How will they be able to be on their own?
The same resources that we give to the sector ministries, they break down to those places. It goes to those people. The monies that the assemblies receive and all those things go. See, what we are trying to do is that instead of keeping it at a certain level, which does not trickle down to the people, we are breaking it further down, so that you are having them in a segmentation of the governance. Because police stations are not a lot of people.
Okay.
Let's say even they are 1 million. You're able to size up that particular group, know their problems, know their employment issues, know what is peculiar to their neighborhood. Okay. Because what is peculiar to a polling station, can you give me a police in your region, the north? It might be different from those in Axim.
Right.
So we segment it that way, and the same resources, we channel it to the people there.
Okay.
We have the data, and then we're able to deal with the needs of the people.
Since we're talking about employment and labor issues, let me throw in poverty eradication. I've seen that in your manifesto, vulnerable groups and elderly. What's the approach?
Ghana Bashes, and that is one of the flagship policies of my leader, Nana Frimpong Sapon Kuma, the CPP flag bearer. Ghana Bashes seeks to empower Ghanaians down the ladder. move them from where they are, and I'll repeat your word, poverty, move them from there and put them in a certain kind of middle income, if not even middle income, a situation where life is better. So we are proposing to give each group of people, identifiable group of people who are already on a certain purpose, 20,000 Ghana cedis each. So imagine there are 1 million of them times 20,000. That's huge money. So for example, if you take watermelon producers, when I use the Adan Road, I see that during the watermelon season, they've harvested and some is rotting. I went to Wale. Yes, thank you very, very much. So all watermelon producers, whether you are in North, you are in South, you know that there's a certain CPP policy that is putting watermelon producers together. So their number will be more. Okay. We give them that amount of money. They're able to move their production from individualistic production to a group. And
again, I ask where you are getting the money from. Are you partnering with foreigners? Some presidential candidates have sat here and said they'll kick out all foreigners when they come into power because the foreigners are reaping away all the benefits to the detriment of the local folk.
I think Osagyefo
Are you going
policy,
to IMF, World Bank?
No, we will not go to IMF. We will not, after the Bretton Woods institutions, we are not really going to have too much to do with them because we are going to generate revenue right here and use the revenue here. For instance, if you have foreign entities, Osagyefo's plan was that they must coexist with the people via cooperatives and community enterprises. A clear example is what I'm arguing for in respect of Adan. Adan, Magdan or Electrochem, nobody's against Magdan's business. But the lagoon is too big. Go and establish your Electrochem salt mining company. Let the indigenes form their corporations, also mine the salt, and then you can even buy from them. But to go and take the entire lagoon for yourself in the name of private entity, that is what we don't ascribe to. So we work hand in hand with private sector, but cooperatives will be established and the private sector will be regulated to make sure that they fall in line with government business because under any socialist government, the state takes the lead.
So you're not kicking out foreigners when you come?
We will not kick out foreigners. We will partner them and make sure that the state has strong oversight in their economic activities.
I'll give you a last word on education. We have to go. What's the grant
plan? Our constitution is clear when it comes to F-Cube and all that. And once again, I applaud the NPP government for the free SHS. You understand? That, because even in the past, 1960s thereabout, people in the north, and I said it somewhere else, that anybody who is 60 years and above and is from the northern part of Ghana enjoyed free education. You testify to that, your uncles and your fathers, you understand? We are going to continue what free SHS is about. The problem is how it is being managed today. We are going to make sure that it is properly managed. One key thing is about food. If you take somebody's child to a school, the person's home is far away from the school, then it turns out that they don't have food to eat. Because of the state farms CPP will be bringing into being, and we having more manpower to work on the state farms, food will be abundant.
Okay, where does TVET come in technology?
TVET comes in because, I mean, in modern times, we need technological advancement and skills to move the nation forward. Don't forget that Nkrumah was interested in polytechnics. Okay. And the former President Rawlings came and continued polytechnics. So we will uphold what free SHS. So I give kudos to His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo for the free SHS. We will come and then President Mahama is talking about taking it to the tertiary and first years not paying. We will see whether we can look at that. But for now, at the basic level, free SHS is good. We will enhance it, regulate it properly from what is being done. And then if you get to the tertiary level and we have to continue from there, we'll see what we can do. But government scholarships is already in the system. But CPP is going to make it on meritocracy. Okay. By merit, students of this country will be able to get government scholarship to be able to advance their knowledge.
I know in there you did say that there will be some civic, revamping of education and all of that, but we have to go. But I just want to ask, is Ghana ready for a Rastafarian vice president?
Ghana should be ready because Haile Selassie was a king and he was a Rastaman. That means you don't know what you are talking about. Kwame Nkrumah's best friend is Haile Selassie. Right. And I'm telling you, Kwame Nkrumah himself was a Rastaman.
Okay, you heard it here.
Rawlings was a Rastaman.
Okay.
President Akufo-Addo is a Rastaman. It's not about keeping dreadlocks. It's about the doctrine, what you believe in.
Okay.
It's only a Rastaman who thinks that children must go to school and therefore let me give them free education so that at the end of the day, whether you are in Wale Wale, whether you are in, you can go to Prempeh. You understand?
I'm sure the advocates for girls wearing their, Muslim headscarf as well to school would definitely love you. And they loved you at the time that you won the case of the Rastafarians. But we have to, right. Yeah.
Breakfast Show.
You're here in the studio. It's a TikTok sensation. He's blowing up everywhere. Out of promoting Tuba, I've even given it away. What have I done? What have I done? I'm going to give him a chance to introduce himself. I'm not going to say much. I'm going to hand it over to him. Let him do something for you, and then you know who he is. The floor is yours.
Sit and say Tuba, she. Or sit and say Tuba, say, hey. She say Amina, hey, she matari, or sit and say me, she, hey, obisi mami, Amina 1, say 2, say 3, say 4, say 5, or sit and say tuba, say, hey, she.
Welcome.
Thanks, bro.
Carlite. That's a unique name. What's that?
Yeah, it's the prophetic name from the Remedios Sky Road.
The prophetic name from where?
Remedios Sky Road.
Hey, brothers, Lord. So, where from the Tuba? Because it's one of the famous catches.
It's called To My Niggas, Tuba Shea, To My Niggas.
You know what? Because of where we are, I won't use the N word. So, but I understand where that is coming from. Usually, when you're doing your skits, there's this guy behind you who has this. Is he a friend or something, or he's also part of the brand?
Yeah, a friend.
He's a friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. CK.
Dr. CK. Is he really a doctor? Is he really a doctor?
Oh no.
Okay, so you blew up on TikTok. Is that what you always wanted to do, or you have other talents that we don't know about?
Oh yeah, I'm a dancer, footballer, actor.
You are all these things?
Yeah, and a fashionista.
I can see the fashionista part.
Yeah.
So you dance as well, you're a footballer. What position do you play?
2.
I'm asking like I know much about football. 2 is defense, right?
Yeah.
We thank God for his mercy. I know something. So how did you end up blowing up on TikTok like that? Did you know you were going to blow up when you started like that? When you started?
Oh yeah, I was in school. So every time when I was in school, I always tell my friends that it's like I'm gonna blow when I finish school. Like and at the same time when I finish school, I got blow.
Yeah. and that is true because you just completed SHS, right?
Yeah.
Hey, and then it's like all this. How does it feel to blow like that?
It's amazing and it's not easy, no.
Wait, why is it not easy? It's like getting used to all those fans, people calling you and stuff like that. How is it? Or is that part which is not easy? Is that the part which is not easy?
Oh yeah, no. I think like you see, growing up in the influencer industry it's not easy.
It's not easy.
You need to work hard.
Yeah. Not easy.
It's not easy to create a new sound.
Yeah.
Nah, unless you visit God. Yeah.
Wait, the way you keep mentioning religious sky god and high god and all that, are you a very religious person?
Oh yeah.
So you don't do any of your content without seeking God's presence. Is that what you say?
First
is that without God they can't go anywhere, can they?
That one I don't know.
No, you can't say with that one. So you've done the Tuba, you've done the Amina, and the last time I saw you with the is it Official Starter? You were in the market.
Yeah.
And those kind of collaborations, how do they happen? Are you there, or you yourself, or you go out and seek it?
Oh no, it's like I just tested them. So bro, like we wanna link up. You see, at first time they did a sound. It's like similar to mine. And the comment section, everyone was telling them that they should link up with me, and I tested them. I said, oh, that means I need to link up with Mama Tulua.
And she came with the Samo.
Yeah.
But it means then, I don't know. I know from social media, some of the comments sometimes they are not very friendly. So for them to give you that idea, that's a good thing. Yeah. Have you come across any unfriendly comments? How do you deal with that aspect?
You see, I'm cool with that. When I see that comment motivate me, you know, or otherwise I'll off my phone and sleep. Yeah.
You don't like any stress or anything?
No.
We have one of your videos coming up, Tuba, Yam. You know, it's about Yam and all that. And I just want to know.
Like, I just rehearsed with my manager, Patrick Collins.
Yeah. And it's that simple?
Oh, no. Mine is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
Okay, can't really explain it, but it's like
No,
it's just, once it comes, it just flow. Wait, so before you finish school, how were you balancing, you know, doing content creation and then your schoolwork?
Okay, it's like at that time I was, it was WASI time, so it's like I do most of the time I shoot my videos on weekends. Yeah. So that schooling time, then I make busy for. So my manager will handle all those media stuff for me. Yeah.
Oh wow. And it didn't interfere with your WASI?
Oh, no.
Wait, which course did you
Visual Arts.
Visual Arts, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. And so you're expecting like some 80s or is this 70s now or something?
80s.
Let's go for the video.
Say forward, say point to the wall. Hey, why? Hey, no. I feel that because I am too big, because I am too big, because I am too big. I'm a baby. Say, tuba, say, hey, say.
I can't do what they are doing. I'm trying to do my best. Oh my goodness, like brand ambassador deals and stuff like that. Yeah. You want to tell us about it?
Oh, okay. Brand influencer for Kivo, brand influencer for Piva, and also brand ambassador for Akenten Estate, brand ambassador for the perfume studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you are speaking about all these brands, and then I was waiting to hear us. You know, brand ambassador
for Gene TV. You know. Yeah.
No, we don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We are waiting for you.
Oh.
And so like
very soon I'll be standing here and doing a lot. You know.
Do you want to create a sound for GTV right now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you can. Okay.
If anyone get instruments, I'm cool with it. Or maybe freestyle.
Unless you do a cappella, because this one, if I say I'll give you the beat, I'll destroy your sound.
Okay.
So if somebody in the background can give us a beat or something, we just
I'll
go a cappella. Okay, cool. We got this color.
Or sit there and say tuba, she. Or sit there and say tuba. Say, hey. She, Missy Jean TV, or sit there, Missy Jean TV, or sit there, Missy Jean TV, or sit there, Missy Jean TV, say, or sit there, say Jean TV, say, or sit there, say tuba, say, she, ota so bewote, Jean TV, ta, Kenny, zo. Say zo in KG TV say me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So it's like now that you're getting a lot of comments on social media and everything, you've told us earlier how you handle the negative comments. You go and sleep and all that. Do you have any other advice for people who see comments like that on their pages and then they're like,
they should ignore it, or it's normal, you know. Yeah, to see some negative. I think it helps the video to grow fast and identity.
So we should just it's all part of. I know when it comes to stuff like that too, the way you also send messages to other influencers. Can you tell us about perhaps the weirdest DM you have ever received? And you're like, wait, what is happening? Like what the weirdest message you have received in your TikTok DMs or something like that? All of them are normal.
It's like I'm not that active on TikTok because these jobs are for my manager. So
And then I see you're collaborating with a lot of people, including Lastmid. Did you have to send him a message or you give him a call? How did that come about?
That one I don't know. I think it's all about
But how do you? Were you able
but
to
like
vibe?
we know each other, you know. We are from Takrady, so
Yeah.
we be Taddy boys, so we just vibe. Then
It was just a
we link
vibe.
up.
Just a vibe. So that video coming up right now. It's like the way you are just vibing with Last Minute and everything. At this point, I want to ask, when you watch most of your videos, it's like you are Sakura.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing here that you have hair. You see where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Do you use a filter when you're doing your videos?
Sometimes, at first, I use I was using a filter, and I did Sakura, but it's like my hair is growing. My hair grow fast.
Ah, yeah. It's like, wait, so does that mean you have to take it off every time you come to create something?
No, it's like when I want to create different. It's like maybe like similar to this thing. I'll drew it down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So now you're a dancer, you're a footballer, now you're a viral sensation and everything. Is this going to take away from your other passion, like being a content creator? Is it going to take away from being is it going to take away from your dancing?
No.
Or you still go to play football and dance and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
You will?
Oh, yeah, I will.
Hey, wait, so it's like coming up, what should we be expecting from Carlite?
Something massive, yeah.
Such as, it's just something unexpected.
Like why today? I don't know. Oh yeah. And my middle about you know, different. Like why the style here?
You know, we are in election season, and a mischievous question just came into my head. So this is the first one. So if any of the political parties, including the big two, NPP and NDC, come to you and they say, do one of your sounds for us, will you do it for them?
Well, I think it's business.
Oh yeah, it's business.
Yeah,
It's business, yeah.
that one there, I'll do it if it is business.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not into that party and stuff. Yeah.
So it's like, are you making a lot of money from being on TikTok and all that?
Oh yeah.
You are. So if they can, how much will you charge them?
That one there, I don't know. Unless I think it's our private chat.
It's a private chat.
Yeah.
So this is me being, you know, very, very mischievous. So if you charge them, will you build a house with that kind of money, or you just buy a car?
Oh no, say they will do a lot of things. You know, I say, wow,
Cool. And you know, quite recently we are trying to stop Galamsey. Should we expect anything from your creative process, like in terms of how we can stop it completely, so that our water bodies are not destroyed and stuff like that?
Oh yeah. What? The question it's like, and they sooner they have to. It's like rebuild the water again because all them buy some style. Naturally, there's sun though.
Charlie, you have gone right to the heart of the matter. Because Charlie, without the water, the food, how we go chop out?
The one is that in garden pobio. The other way, in soon the other way, yeah. Don't cry.
Oh, it's not. Ha! You know what? See, So, who is your TikTok crush? Do you have one?
My TikTok crush.
Yeah, do you have a TikTok crush?
Carlite. Oh, I'm crushing on myself. Yeah.
But you know, the Amina you use is like common nursery rhyme we used when we were growing up. How did you manage to pick on that one and know that, oh, this one will be a hit? Or it surprised you?
I think it's like, I just flow with it because when I was a kid, I play with girls. Like I was staying in a compound house, and there is a the houses was full of girls. So we play Ampi, Amina, then skipping, then stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. But you don't have it. So it's like looking at all the collaborations you've done so far. Who are you looking forward to do a collaboration with?
Shatawale. All the big artists in Ghana.
All the big ones.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Including yourself, and since you're crashing yourself.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So it's like if you are creating content and you have to motivate yourself to create the content, what's your go-to hype song to hype yourself before you create the content?
Madam Mary, if your botoshiki, everything and everywhere. Who born Amina say?
Where from that one?
In cannot so do ba sha mutira here. Obaba resting with.
So what's one thing about you that most people don't know about? If you said it about yourself, it will surprise all of us.
I'm lefty.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Both left and right.
You are making my brain go left and right because I don't know how to handle this response.
Yeah.
How do I handle this response? My producers were telling me there's a video of you talking about Popo or something like that. I'm not gonna. Do you want to do something? You know the video he's referring to. Popo. There's something about Popo. There's a kind of Popo.
Popo is a kind of.
Yes. So.
Popo is a kind of fruit. Popo is a kind of fruit. Green like Futa, yellow like Manta. Everybody like Popo. I'm a Popo, 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 I'm a Popo. I love you, Dama Chan Popo. To my Popo, to my Popo. Hey, she, Popo is a kind of fruit. Popo is a kind of.
It sounds like, you know, Sheshe, since you're using Amina, I'm forced to think maybe Sheshe too, it sounds for Sharon. Am I lying or I'm speaking the truth?
Sheshe is what?
It's Sharon. It's called Sharon. The person is called Sharon, but you're saying Sheshe. Am I lying or I'm speaking the truth?
I have never heard
Hey, brother, so I'm lying.
Sheshe.
Oh, you haven't?
No,
oh,
Sharon. No.
Ask around. It is possible. Sharon, she. You know, it's all...
Sharon, she.
Yeah.
Like shave.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? I realized that with the video we just played, the Popo one, I could see the filter.
Yeah,
you know,
that
one had the filter and everything. Anyway, so handling the comments and everything is that when you go out in town, the people recognize you for what you do and sometimes come to you and say, like, you know what, do something for us.
Oh, no.
Not yet.
Yeah, sometimes I hide myself, so it's like sometimes it's like Kivo guy, we know Kivo, we know you make your pictures now, and it's normal. Yeah.
You know, earlier when you mentioned the Gary, when we were speaking about Galamsey, and then you just mentioned Kivo again, and I realized that, I haven't asked you how important Gary is to you, because it looks like you love Gary really, really much. So how important is Gary to you, and why Gary?
I think you also like Gary.
My eyes are spot. I know he's Gary again.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why my eyes are spot. Because, you know what?
But I mean, when I eat Gary, it opens my eyes to see someone from afar. It's called eye consumers.
So me that I eat Gary and then my eyes are still like this?
Your Gary is very different. Yeah.
Carlite. I don't know how to.
What's the name of your Gary?
What's the name of my Gary? Mine is the local one. You go to the local.
That's why.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we are moving on from the Gary conversation. You know, so Gary is important to you. Why? It's because it's simple to prepare. What is it about Gary that you love so much?
Because Gary is for the street, and we are. Yeah.
So now, if your results should come in and everything, moving forward, are you going to go to school and still do the content creation? Or now that you've realized that, oh, I can make money from this, you're going to stop school altogether?
Oh, nah, I'll still go to school. But I want to go to school in US.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why not here in Ghana?
Because of the Galamsey.
How does that affect your education?
Because there I'll get nice water to do the gari, you know.
Wait, does that mean you don't have any hope for us here in Ghana?
Oh, I have hope.
Because if you want to go all the way to the US...
Ghana, every day, hope. Hope is dead. Very, very long time. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, anyway. So we are coming to play a little game. You're going to give us your answer. I'll give you two options and then you choose one.
Okay.
I know better than to ask you Gary or Wache. You know he'll go for the Gary. Am I lying? Anyway, so are you ready?
Yes.
So this is the rapid fire with Carlites. Here we go. Kinky or Banku?
Kinky.
Accra or Kumasi?
Accra.
High Life or Afrobeat?
Afrobeat.
Charlotte Festival or Homo War Festival?
I don't know.
You don't know those ones. Okay, I'm sure you go for the Masquerade Festival, like the one in...
Yeah, Ankos.
Ankos, yeah, exactly. Beaches or mountains?
Beach.
Beach, okay. I'm surprised you said beach, because you can say, you know what, I'll just keep quiet. Trotro or taxi?
Trotro.
Morning show or nightlife?
Morning show.
Hey, okay. I'm surprised.
Every day morning.
Day morning, yeah. So I thought maybe you prefer like the night. You know what? That's your response. Okay. Independence Square or Cape Coast Castle?
Cape Coast Castle.
Yeah, it happens. Even me, it happens to me. But I like what just happened. So, street food or fancy restaurant?
Street food.
Street food. Football or music concert?
Football music concert.
Choose one. Either football or the music concert.
Okay, football.
Yeah. I know you love to dance. Maybe that's why you want